And welcome back to Week 1, Day 2 of the HCS Pro League Fall Season. I'm Elamite, once again joined with Tom Savage Taylor.
Is that my name now?
I think that might be your name now. So we just saw an exciting series. Team Liquid actually falling in that game number 5, but regardless, really back and forth. We even had a tied Stasis CTF there, and easily capable for both of these teams to come back and be even stronger for Week 2.
Definitely. This isn't how I was expecting today to shape up. This is what I wanted to see out of E6, though. We know that they have it in them. And yeah, it's going to be interesting. But the next match we're going to have is Allegiance going up against Luminosity, possibly another series going to 5.
And this is one I'm really excited for as well, because these are two teams like Allegiance off to a rocky start in the beginning of summer season. But once they made a roster change, they really were able to kind of step it up. But it was just a little bit too late at that point. And now they have their opportunity to come back, and they're challenging this Luminosity squad led by Naden.
You're exactly correct, Kyle.
You're right. I am exactly correct, Tom. Thank you for that. Now, we do have essentially a matchup of the teams that were ranked in that, essentially 6th to 7th place spots. Of course, Naden wasn't actually in the Pro League during that summer season, but Allegiance, with the addition of Falcated, the newest member to the Pro League, is definitely going to come out and make some moves here. And now you're looking at Falcated and Shooter replacing the initial Ryanoob and Goofy, which was later replaced, Goofy being replaced by Hines as well. Still a lot for these guys to prove, but a lot of talent on this team. Taking a further look at Shooter, tell us about him.
Well, Shooter got the only overkill so far in the fall season, and this guy is a really great in-game leader. He does a lot of dirty work. They have a really well-rounded team. I think that this Allegiance team is stronger than the lineup that they had with Hines, Goofy, Ryanoob, those guys that came in for Allegiance. So they played Evil Geniuses fairly well yesterday. Again, we've seen how much matchups come into play when EG ended up taking, or E6 ended up taking out Team Liquid earlier. So it's a lot of this has to do with matchups, play styles, things like that. What works against certain teams isn't going to work against other teams, and that's something that you were talking about yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, you have a player like Commonly who is constantly on that flank, constantly getting behind teams. It's really effective. They're not expecting it, but then if you're going up against a team like Optic Gaming and you've got a Boo Boo Doo that hides outside the map near cave area on Coliseum, but Frosty just already knows he's going to be there, you're going to get shut down.
Right. Well, let's take a look at what Optic Gaming did yesterday, for example. When it comes to Regret Slayer, when did we ever see them? Yeah, the circumstances were different. The momentum wasn't on E6's side. We already heard that in the interview with Kratos. So let's throw that all out of the window. But when have you ever seen Optic, the old CLG, when did you ever see them lose control when they have control in a Regret Slayer? Never. And that's what we saw Team Liquid fall to E6 in that final game, because they gave up map control. E6 was able to push out, get those picks, and then they were able to run away with that one. So all of these teams, every other team, they all want to beat Optic Gaming, but they're not putting together clean enough games and series yet to be able to beat them consistently. Yeah, you may be able to have a 1-off or a 2-off. Maybe they'll have a couple losses this season, but these guys all need to step up if they want to be able to take them down.
And now, of course, like we said, Team Allegiance going up against Luminosity. Let's go ahead and take a look at the game types that these two teams are going to be matching up against. Of course, this is after the veto process. We're going to be looking at Coliseum Capture the Flag, followed up by a Coliseum Slayer, games 1 and 2.
Wow, this is interesting. Obviously Plaza, Fathom, Rig after that, but Coliseum Flag and Coliseum Slayer is going to mean that this first game is almost like winning 2 games in a row, because if you walk away with CTF Coliseum in a dominating fashion or even a close game, that's going to give you tons of momentum moving into the same map. And sometimes people struggle with putting that last map behind them when they are playing on the same exact layout and terrain.
Yeah, that's a good point as well. Although Capture the Flag and Slayer obviously play much differently in game, the routes you can take and the angles and the positioning, whether or not you're starting bottom center and ending up top catwalk, whatever the case may be, it's still going to be the same.
It is, because Slayer Coliseum, unlike, say, the Rig, for example, that we're looking at right now, it's all about still controlling the snipe side of the map and making sure that you're trapping people on the elbow and making sure that you're holding top catwalk, taking angles, owning 75% of the real estate on this map so you can force spawn these people into the other 25% of the real estate.
And we've seen it time and time again. A lot of it's going to come down to controlling these power weapons, whether or not it's rockets or especially sniper. We've seen just how impactful players can be, especially Royal 2, taking that into the cave so consistently and picking up big multi-kills time and time again.
I think this is a good map pick and ban phase coming out from the side of Allegiance. Just how I was saying, I felt good for E6 in their map picks. I think that this favors Allegiance, but with that being said, I do think Luminosity is the better team. So let's see if that's going to be enough for Allegiance to walk away with this one.
I think I'm going to take the reverse end and go with the Luminosity squad because they are looking, extremely strong and Falcated.
Well, you're calling that after they started running the flag halfway. That doesn't count.
Well, Falcated still has a lot to prove here to be considered, on the same level as a player like Shooter or even Contra as well, who've had so much success time and time again. But that flag is out, already being put in. You see on the kill feed, naded with the rockets. L-Town already pushing up on a flank and not being spotted by Contra.
That's all 4 dead, and they are in perfect position to run this flag. They're pulling it the right way. They have the setup with the sniper over there, naded, getting a double kill with the rockets and the pistol, looking really good for a potential 2 caps here. Double cap going in within the first minute. We may be looking at a possible goose here. Don't mean to jinx it, but they're running this really, really fast. Self capture coming out from L-Town.
Don't mean to goose. Don't mean to jinx it here. Looking for that goose. We can see time and time again. We've had 2 players already show that up during summer season. I feel like it's only a matter of time before you see it again here in the fall.
Yeah, everybody has picked up a kill so far, so we're not going to see any geese so far. But either way, Luminosity again in really prime position. If he can get this kill onto Devin, that would be fantastic. I don't know why he clambered back up. He could have just ran out of there and kept his shields. But either way, Naded's been a beast so far. He does have the scatter shot over there on the elbow, but nice job with Shooter with the assault rifle taking down Naded, who was crouching, and now Contra has the sniper, and this is the push for Allegiance that they need.
And now Falcated trying to assist with this flag. Runner does grab a kill, but Predevinator going to be taken out. Nobody in position to quite run the flag yet, but several members dying here. That's 3 down for Luminosity. This flag is going to be essentially stopped, but now Falcated starting to run this again, taking it snipe side, and this is tough, like already down 2-0.
Yeah, and they're not going to be able to get this cap if Naded's able to push in towards the elbow, so they need to take out Naded immediately. Those rockets are up. Eco getting a kill onto Devin, and there's the rockets coming in from Naded. He's flying right into the window. This is what I was talking about. If they don't take him out, he's going to be able to stop this flag. Gets the kill onto the flag guy. That's Contra looking for the double. That's more rocket kills coming out from Naded. Let's see if they're able to get this flag return and put it in, though. Shooter coming around, picking up a double. Denoxide's going to try to get the touch. Is he able to get the touch? He is. So big touch coming out from Denoxide. Now they can bait this flag from the window. Someone from the side of Allegiance is going to fly in towards the window and make sure he's distracted. It's exactly what Shooter's doing. Good heads-up play coming out from Shooter. Is he going to be able to get this kill? He is. So he can get another touch here. The flag did get capped, but it was a little bit too late. He would have liked that pulled a little bit earlier. Could have kept a little bit more of his shields, but still, nonetheless, gets it tossed out pretty far.
A lot of action in this game so far. Already 9 minutes in, we've got 3 captures, a flag cap every single minute so far. Rockets are going to be out of ammo. Denoxide picking up a double kill, including a ground pound. The new sniper is going to be up as well, and flag being pulled, but they need to get a few kills if they have any chance of bringing this one back.
Yeah, they have the right mindset getting into the base, but they didn't have all 4 of their teammates there. I believe that was L-Town that's a little too far behind, crouching over there on the elbow side. So Shooter getting that nice kill onto Eco means that they're able to get the return now. The map positioning is in the favor of Allegiance. Again, that's L-Town over there at his base, taking a little bit too long to push out. He's been there just sitting on the elbow for the last 20 seconds, not really doing anything. He could have just potentially charged. Nice nade, though, is going to make up for it, but still, he hasn't really pushed out quite yet. Denoxide getting a couple kills is going to be good, though. Let's see if Shooter's able to finish off Denoxide there, crouching in the corner. Still has a nade. Let's see if that's able to connect. No, it doesn't, but takes him down to no shields. Nice thrust coming out from Shooter. Heads up play. However, the flag is getting tossed out, so that's taking a little bit of his attention. Someone else is going to have to push in there towards the elbow on the side of Allegiance because Shooter's in really good position and adding a lot of pressure on the enemy base.
And that was really good. He's waited long enough to go for the return until one of his teammates could assist him. Whenever you put 2 players on a flag return, it just returns so quickly. The enemy team almost has never enough time to actually react.
Yeah, Shooter does have a grenade there. Could have tossed that one towards the rock guy that was sitting on the elbow. Elects to chase down this player, Naded, running the flag. Naded has a splinter grenade, gets a huge kill. That's Eco helping him out. So 2 players, no shields now, and they work together to take out another player, Eco and Naded, with a nice bait and switch. Triple kill coming out from Eco. The flag's running in, a little bit of BM as well. That's going to be it. Luminosity taking the very first game.
Wow, and that was a lot more convincing than I was initially anticipating. So Luminosity really coming out and showing how strong they are looking. Obviously the kills here, Denoxide, the member from Team Liquid that was picked up a couple weeks into the season, really showing off his slaying prowess.
We didn't get a chance to look at his screen much, but overall, that was a good job by Naded and squad just controlling the Rockets too, and just making sure that they're being ruthless with the flag. 2 caps in under a minute. As you can see, they put that one in at 10:55, so a minute and 5 seconds. And this is the play with Naded with the Rockets that was a really nice job. Even though they weren't able to get the flag return, he at least reset the map and things like that. And that's the type of little plays that you need to get that positional advantage for the rest of your teammates.
So you called game 1, Tom. You said whoever wins game 1 is most likely going to come out with a big advantage and win game 2 as well, considering it's another Coliseum.
Yeah, I'm picturing, you know, I predict that this one is going to, again, go over to Luminosity, but we saw Allegiance yesterday in Plaza Strongholds and just Strongholds in general. I don't know if it was Plaza, but they played really well going up against EG. I believe that they won a Plaza Strongholds, not sure, but yeah, they did look really strong in that specific game type. But again, Luminosity, what can you say about them in Coliseum? You know, they controlled the weapons. Unless the side of Allegiance can have a good beginning strategy here and make sure that they're focusing on not letting Naded get the rockets and not letting for example, the other players get like the sniper. L-Town's putting some serious work on Coliseum as well. Even though he had 4 kills last game, we've seen him last season drop 19, 20, 21 kills in Coliseum Slayer. So I got to give advantage over to Luminosity again. Allegiance came out a little bit slow. But yeah, we'll see how this one plays.
Yeah, I mean, you're exactly correct. L-Town's had some big positive numbers on both Coliseum and on even Regret as well. So he's a player you can really count on to step it up, especially on Team Slayer game types. I mean, it's every player obviously is different comfort levels depending on the map, but as far as any map like Coliseum or Regret where there's a lot of vertical action going on, you see L-Town excel a lot.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit worried for Allegiance here because the beginning strats aren't going to change much from the previous game. I'm more wondering if Allegiance is going to adjust anything, because think about it, they got 2 caps in a minute. Just imagine how many kills it took for them to get those, and Allegiance ends up going right for those rockets. Good job by Contra making sure that those are out of Luminosity's hands. So let's see if he's able to get any kills with these, because he's in a pretty powerful position as well.
All right, and he knows there's a player jumping around near snipe side. Predevinator's doing his best to stay alive out on the sneaky ledge. Does pick up a kill here on Predevinator. Now Contra still has 3 rockets left in this weapon, and he's working with his teammate that is hiding over in cave.
Yeah, and the guy in cave is Devin, who also has the sniper. So this is really good from these guys. You can just sit there and watch your teammate who has the sniper's back and just sit there and bait him, stay off the radar. It looks like Stenoxide is crouching over there, and he's doing a nice job taking Contra down to no shield. So Contra wastes a rocket, is hit by that nade, but lives. And that's a heads-up play from Denoxide. Remember we were talking about on Regret Slayer how the most important thing to do is when you're spawning at a base, immediately moving around towards the other side, and that's what he did there, but he did that through the scatter shot area. So a nice heads-up play, maybe some tips for people to take away from home on making sure that they spread out.
And this is a pretty good job by Luminosity. You know, he had Naded top rockets doing the best he can to lay down some cover fire. Ooh. But oh, just like that, Eco with the SMG in cave clutches it up and picks up another kill. That's going to put snipe side of the map in control of Luminosity once again.
Shooter missing a couple shots there. He was hitting some body shots, but needed to connect on the head of L-Town. L-Town's going to escape with that sniper. Has 5 bullets as well. Picks up the DMR. Has his teammates flooding in here. So this is another good opportunity for the side of Luminosity. That player is one shot as well. He gets cleaned up by the knock side. Everyone's going to be spawning on the elbow here, and it looks like L-Town's in perfect position to potentially pick these guys off. Gets one. Another player spawning on the flag. Is he going to be able to get the kill? That player backs off, so smart play by whoever that is. That looks like Shooter in the back of the base. Now that means L-Town is a little bit worried about potential spawns behind him, and he really has to just worry about this guy, and it looks like he finally pops up right at the perfect time. Gets a nice little body shot, clambers up, takes him down. So Shooter, that doesn't pay off for him, but nice job still making sure that L-Town couldn't run around the map and get more angles on players.
And that just shows the confidence that L-Town has in his gameplay. He had 3 shots left in the sniper, so it's one of those situations where there's a good chance you're going to be able to waste this ammo before you're actually taken out. So you can play a little bit more aggressive with that weapon, and he just stands in the exact same position, knows there's a player on red flag, and commits the entire time to that fight.
Look at Denoxide leaving off, starting this game right where he left off in the previous game. He's currently 8-1, and this is a 11 kill lead now for Luminosity. They're on a huge run. Remember, this game was pretty much tied around that 7 or 8 kill mark, and then Luminosity really just started to turn it on. And you got to be really worried now for the side of Allegiance, because you saw that Contra and Devin both had the rockets and sniper, and still they're down 11 kills, which is pretty uncommon.
And now still the 11 kill lead, and Denoxide crouching around with that scatter shot, puts it in the face of Allegiance, grabbing yet another kill. He is having a phenomenal game so far. Now there are callouts that rockets are down, gonna go back in the hands of Naded, and this kid has had power weapons almost the entire series so far.
Yeah, Contra was crouching around the corner. That's a big kill. Naded didn't know that player was there. Maybe he should have just slow played that a little bit more until he got the information. But either way, nonetheless, Contra sneaking up through that back area going over towards the pyramid means that Allegiance is going to stand much more of a chance of winning this game now compared to when Naded had the rockets. Now it's only a 6-kill game.
And kind of an outplay by Predevinator. Didn't initially know Eco is hiding right below him, and in a 2v1 situation comes out with a kill and stays alive. Contra almost picking up that headshot on Naded, but not able to do so. He's going to stay alive top. Rocket's doing a great job of securing this part of the map.
Yeah, Contra has two bullets left in the chamber. He has 10 overall. He needs to use all of his positioning to watch that rocket side, which is exactly what he's doing. A player does get killed over towards the rocket side. That means that they're not going to be able to lock these down quite yet, but that's fine for Contra. He can just continue to bait those. I don't even think his teammates necessarily have to go for it quite yet until they have the numbers advantage. So I wish he would get a little bit higher up, possibly lift up, because he's going to get collapsed on, but he does have teammates to cover his back as he's getting distracted by Eco. That was L-Town securing the rockets and running away. So nice job by L-Town getting those when Contra was a little bit preoccupied, and a nice job distracting at the same time. Let's see if L-Town's able to get out of blue base with the rockets, and let's see if Contra's able to pick off players with the sniper.
And Allegiance brought this one right back. We're all back tied up at 25 kills here now. L-Town with the rockets grabs yet another kill before he has ended up being taken out or dropping there. You see a lot of action bottom center from both teams. Predevinator with that sniper, 2 shots left in the chamber, 4 overall left in the sniper here. I like what he's doing. He does need to reload relatively soon. You don't want to die with the weapon ammo in the chamber. You won't have enough opportunities to hit any of those no-scopes.
Well, he's taking too long at this point. He needs to jump up onto the flag podium and, yeah, exactly, get some shots on these guys in the window, going up towards Catwalk. That's exactly what he's doing right now. So good heads-up play coming out from Devin. Let's see if he's going to be able to get L-Town over there, who's top Catwalk. His teammates also need to go out and push because, ooh, nice crouch there coming out. Is he? Oh, Eco gets his face taken by Devin. So Devin not really missing with this snipe. Doesn't realize that there's a player also crouching on the elbow. So let's see if he's heads up on that and checks the side and realizes it. Okay, he does. So nice heads up play again coming out from Devin. Also nice shots landing onto the player over there towards the elbow. That's Denoxide. So a 2-kill lead coming out. Only 1 bullet left. Let's see if Denoxide peeks out. No, he gets a kill on the Contra instead. So really like how Denoxide's playing this one. However, it looks like positional advantage is still in Allegiance's favor and has been for the last 2 or 3 minutes.
And Luminosity, I think, or I feel more than any other team, overloads bottom center constantly. You see Naded down there, even during like World Championships. Anytime you see him play, you see Denoxide, Naded, a few other players just constantly pushing the bottom center.
Devin with the killing spree being a really big difference maker. But yeah, you're right, Kyle. Going bottom center, it's one of those things where you don't expect it. You expect people to push out towards the cave, towards the elbow, but when you don't have that opportunity because you know people are watching and they're just using their radar, you have to rotate somewhere else, and really bottom center is your only viable option.
Oh, and gives that player a haircut, trying his best to stay alive. He might actually escape here as Denoxide doesn't know there's 2 players hiding down there by the Splinter Nade area, but 35-32 lead.
Yeah, Devin hasn't died with this snipe in a really long time. He's just sitting over here in the pyramid area. I'm a little bit worried from the side of Luminosity because they're not putting any pressure on the snipe side of the map. They need to clear out. They need to go into the window. They need to send 1 guy top rockets and then send 2 guys top sniper. It looks like Naded's in a pretty solid position over there towards top rockets. He needs to hold that position. He ends up electing to charge out towards bottom blue. So he could have been kind of the anchor on that side of the map while everyone else pushed up. Like you can see Eco over here and Denoxide making their way over towards the snipe side. So this is a good opportunity. They need to cross shoot, use teamwork here, and finally take out Devin.
And Predevnator doing a great job at being a distraction, literally just scaring Luminosity from pushing across that map. 4-kill lead, just under 5 minutes left to play in regulation.
Nice shots.
Very nice shots there. Plenty of ammo left in this weapon. I'd almost like to see a rotation, as he's not going to have any more help here at Snipe Tower.
Looks like he's feeling it though, and he's gonna get a little bit cocky with the snipe. Gets a nice little dink onto Denoxide. Looking for the double onto Nated. Lands another body shot, but Nated ends up getting the pick there with the DMR. So nice job by Nated, because every kill really matters at this point. As you can see, it's 5 kills now, and this is a good opportunity for Luminosity, because Eco needs to stay alive and grab these rockets, and he has a spawner on his team that's pushing, so they need to get that priority kill. Shooter getting some picks with the sniper. If they don't get these rockets, they're not going to stand a chance. Huge 1v1 going up here against Devin. Devin with perfect shots, excuse me. Now it's a 7-kill lead.
And with a sniper still here in the hands of Allegiance, they're looking to put it lights out for Luminosity and tie up this series. And just think that giant lead, time and time again, more than any other Halo, I feel like we see these ginormous leads just get thrown away.
It's really about controlling snipe side. Luminosity didn't have a counter strategy to come back and kill Devin, and Devin went on this amazing spree. And let's take a look at the stats overall to see where everyone was at. And there it is, 14 and 8. And keep in mind, he went on about an 8-kill spree, which it's a 9-kill differential in the final score. So keep that in mind, that as Devin was turning it on, Denoxide slowed it down just a little bit. And
a lot of that spree came from when they were heavily down in the game. So when you need it more than ever.
Yeah, it went 22 to 10, and now it's 22 to 8. Now 21 to 23. So just a massive comeback coming out from these guys, and a lot of it was just Devin. You could see he had that snipe even at the 20 mark, and then even had it again at the 40 mark. So he hadn't died from the time that Allegiance had 20 kills up until 40. So hats off to him for staying alive, and hats off to his teammates for covering the angles. And now we're moving into Plaza Strongholds, where Allegiance, again, they're really strong on this game type. And after winning that Coliseum Slayer game, which I didn't think they were going to do, they have a really good opportunity to walk away with this series now.
And, considering that this is Nated and L-Town, once again, facing off against a team they finished second place with at the World Championship, it is really going to be interesting to see if they're going to be able to continue this momentum, or bring the momentum back, excuse me, to try and close out this series. Because, like we've said, there's so much history between all these teams, between all these players, that every single matchup, every single time two teams meet, there is going to be some sort of history or some sort of storyline there for everyone to get involved with.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see how evenly everyone's actually matched up. We saw E6 can hang with Liquid, which we weren't expecting to see today. Maybe in a week or two we were expecting that, but they came out really hot. And now we're seeing Allegiance and Luminosity. The series hasn't gone to a conclusion yet, but we can see that these two teams also very fairly matched. So in my opinion, it's really just up to Team LOL, the former Optic squad, to step up here and be like, hey guys, we're all 7 teams that could potentially take down this new Optic Gaming roster. So looking forward to see, how this one pans out, man. It's much more competitive than it was last season.
Right, series all tied up 1-1. We're heading to a game number 3. That's going to be Strongholds Plaza. Tom, we've started with several different players already here. Who would you have to pick?
We want Nated.
All right, Nated it is. We'll go ahead and start things off from his perspective, as he's been very game-changing all series long, including yesterday. So he is quickly getting shots off, drops down, doesn't elect to go ahead and go for that camo quite yet, but looks like it is going to be burnt.
Yeah, I don't think Nated meant to fall down here, but either way, that's a good job going and laying down the shots on the glass, also making sure that he kept his shields the entire time. They're going to get rewarded with Nest and bottom mid from this, so this is, again, the ideal setup that you want to have. Let's see how long they can hold it. Eco getting picked off, however, L-Town gets a kill onto Shooter, so it's going to be a 3-on-3. Now, Nated needs to get up towards the top of the map. I'm not sure why he elected to go bottom center and sit bottom center. Now he's in a really poor position and gets taken out. So, misplay coming out from Nated. We saw Eco yesterday really sit in that hotel area, and that's kind of what you want to do. You want to hold the hotel area, and nice job by Denoxide dropping down. Let's see if he's able to do anything. He's not. So looks like Luminosity loses bottom mid, Allegiance gets bottom middle and has yard. It looks like they're going to get the nest, have a quick little triple cap, but it's not going to last for long because you got to stop the bleeding and get that yard. And it looks like everyone's going to elect to push towards blue and cafe. One player on the glass there, that's going to be L-Town. Let's see if Shooter just shoot him, man, before he kills your teammate. There you go. And now it looks like everybody's pushing out towards towards top gold area for the side of Luminosity. Maybe Shooter's going to be able to come around and get a good flank.
And not only that, but Shooter picking up the shotgun now and bringing this weapon into yard while your team has the other two strongholds already controlled. This is a perfect opportunity. We've seen exactly what Rami was able to do with this weapon in this exact location when players start spawning over by Cafe.
Yeah, I mean, this is a pretty conservative play coming out from Shooter. He needs to watch out for bottom middle too as well. I'm not sure why Naded's going over there towards yard by himself. He should be, you know, thinking about bottom middle with his teammates. That was a really risky play coming out from Shooter, but it ended up paying off, and Naded ended up making a misplay over there. And now he can just continue to rotate and add this pressure on this. He doesn't even have to add all the pressure. He could just back off, wait for his teammates. That's going to be Contra coming in. And yeah, once you give it up, you don't necessarily have to collapse fully on this, but it looks like they're all on the same page. They're all going to collapse, and it looks like everybody from the side of Luminosity is spawning over at blue, but they have to be careful because if everyone pushes over towards blue and goes nest side and Naded doesn't go and make that play again, charging into there, we saw that same exact thing that you're talking about with Rami. You go in there and you charge this shotgun guy, it's not going to work. Falcated locking down a couple players with the SMG gets taken out, but yeah, it's really up to these guys to not push into this area. Make sure that you go over towards the nest area, control that first.
And speaking of Rami, he was actually subbing on Allegiance when they've had so much success on this game type, defeating that Cloud9 squad and even having that 60-point comeback against Evil Geniuses, you know, essentially taking them out of finals as well. That was all done by the shotgun and, you know, essentially controlling some of those triple caps. So Allegiance is playing this game type to perfection.
So fast. They've held this triple cap for so long that they were able to get 66 points total, and this shotgun is doing serious work for Shooter. His thrust should be up pretty soon. There it is. That's 3 dead now, and they have the numbers advantage. That's the last player alive. That's Eco over there, and they are going to spawn over here towards the glass. That's Synoxide flying out. He gets picked off. Nice teamwork coming out from Shooter and from Contra, and there's only about 2 more pushes left for Luminosity. They haven't even had a chance because of the amount of pressure coming up from Allegiance, and this is what I was talking about, Kyle. Allegiance is possibly one of the strongest strongholds teams that we've seen so far. Keep in mind that the 2 games that they won against EG in that best of 5 series were won on strongholds, so they definitely know what they're doing. Their rotations are very crisp, and you can tell that their communication is on point.
And look at this, the teamwork here between Shooter and
Contest.
Contra. They need to jump in that. Not sure why Contra didn't jump in and try to get to the other side to contest that hill.
Everybody's bottom middle right now for Luminosity, all 4 players, which means if you even get up towards any type of height advantage, you're going to be able to slaughter them, and that's exactly what they did. That's 3 dead. Heads up play coming out from Shooter, rotating over here towards the nest area. Players spawning over there, pulling a Roy. Only 1 shot left in his BR, but switches over to his assault rifle. Now this is their opportunity. Get this, watch bottom middle. Camo's coming up pretty soon. 3 dead, and this is really big. They can pretty much do whatever they want here because there's the spawns. Okay, so spawns in nest, they're on top of it. Yeah, this is going to be pretty much it. That's going to be game. Allegiance is going to walk away with this one. They're going to go up 2-1 in the series. It's pretty much mathematically over for Luminosity, and that was a stomp.
And that was the fastest Strongholds Plaza I have ever seen. Taking a look at these stats, lucky we didn't see any people join the
only
flock
2 kills.
of geese
So what is
around
that?
here.
14 kills for the entire Luminosity squad. Contra had 13. That's insane.
That is insane. 15 kills overall, but yeah, I mean, 13 out of Contra. He was on an absolute tear. We saw great things out of Shooter. The rotations from them, that was how you secure a triple cap on Plaza without throwing the game. So many times we've seen other members from other teams rush, try to force the yard spawn when you shouldn't be doing it. You need to make sure you have a player.
I don't even mess with the yard, man. I never go into the yard unless I absolutely have to, which rarely happens, but I'm always about the nest and bottom middle. Like, I get frustrated even when I see my teammates go for the triple cap because it's not very necessary, but like you said, that was a very good execution coming out from them. Keep in mind, Shooter crouching in that Rami spot around the corner, Naded charging in there. That's something that Naded didn't necessarily have to do. Yeah, he didn't have the intel. He was just trying to stop the bleeding, but again, if you get that spawn, if you do spawn over to blue, what's the point of running across the map over towards the yard area when you have that free reign to either go towards that back wall open field area or make your way over there towards the nest and snipe ramp?
I'm not a huge advocate of going for the stronghold in the base because we've seen it so many times in time and time again, just players throw the game. Like even yesterday, we saw Lunchbox, what we saw just here, Naded pushing in there. There's lots of times where you need to not be going for it, but there's other times that it can be really effective as long as you can get the rotations back. If you put 2 people in that hill, you're able to get back towards the sniper stronghold area so quickly with the Clamor and jumping up top gold. You can catch those players spawning in hotel and just keep them on a cycle the entire time, and that's what Allegiance did to a T.
Yeah, just like you said it's times, and so it's the timing is what it is. It's you have to go in at the right time, the right situation, and that's what we saw happen. They collapsed and they collapsed together, and it counts on where you collapse from too. A lot of players will collapse from the loop area, so it's like, oh, you got to charge all the way the loop up those stairs all the way over there. No, don't collapse from that area. Collapse from the cafe area and collapse from top gold. Use your height advantage. Also use an area where you have good escape routes at the same time, and that's what we saw Allegiance do. And now they have a huge advantage. They're up 2-1 in the series going into CTF Fathom.
And this is going to be the first CTF Fathom that we've seen here today as well. So both teams obviously know how to play this game type. It's been around since the beginning. It is a very elongated type map, but very short as far as the actual distances between the 2 flags go. We've seen the really good flag running players excel on just how quickly they can move that map or move that flag across the map.
Interestingly enough, Contra gets that railgun pretty uncontested. Typically you see another player go bottom center and try to contest that, but they just ended up throwing 1 grenade and letting Contra pick that one up. That's the camo guy, and Naded ends up getting killed with the camo, but at least taking the railgun guy with him at the same time. And it looks like Allegiance is pulling this flag, or it looks like, no, that's going to be Luminosity, sorry, pulling the flag, and they're going to go for the return there. So that's what you see a lot in this game type. You see a lot of people try to get that flag immediately and run it towards the pit, or run it towards that where old splinter grenades used to be, or just call it the grenades. And you can get away with that a lot of times. That's something that, you know, commonly specializes in, Ryan specializes in, and you can see again that they're just doing it and being ruthless pulling that one. And when you have top center control, you can just do things like Denoxide's doing, force them to get that return and use your positional advantage to try to get the slays.
And you see 3 members of Luminosity over here towards red base. The railgun was in fact down, but Shooter not going to be able to do anything with it. Eco takes that light rifle. Now this is one of the strongest cross map guns, you know, zoomed in with this weapon. As long as you hit the last shot as a headshot, that is a 3-shot kill. Now Naded, 2 kills here with that railgun, really stepping this up here for Luminosity. Players dropping left and right.
This is really good for Luminosity. They need to make sure that they, nice job taking Contra out of scope, because the player running the flag was no shield. So heads up play coming out from Eco, realizing that he needs to back off and secure this cap. Hasn't even forgotten about Contra, but Contra laying down some really nice pistol shots, even though he didn't have the positional advantage or the weapon position. But this is a good spot for Eco to be in. Unfortunately for him, he only has about 4 shots left in his light rifle, so he's going to end up getting flanked, and that is a kill onto Shooter. But 2 shots left in his gun. I don't know if he realizes it. Going to have to eventually switch over to his, oh, he has a pistol as his background, so that's fortunate for him.
Ooh, and Naded not quite able to get that return. Another player top center does take him out. He has no shields, and what a 2-for-1 out of L-Town. This is exactly what they needed. Can he hit another one? Barely misses it.
They're going to spawn to his left. They're going to be in the silo, so he needs to be looking at the spawns immediately. He should probably move up a little bit. Yeah, like, are they? All right. Good. The return came up. He needed to realize that the grenades were going to be coming from that side, and the way that the grenades bounce off that wall, he was a little bit too exposed. That was almost a misplay. However, that is going to be the cap going in for Luminosity. Nice shots coming out from Contra, but they're already down 1-0 in this game. Yeah, they are up 2-1 in the series, but that's a good sign coming out for L-Town, picking up that double kill and finally getting some weapons in his hand.
And this is a constant back and forth battle, trying to get control of the top center area. Take a quick look at the stats while Falcated crouches around over here, and you see Naded and L-Town, the duo second place world champions, coming out and, you know, off to a great start.
Yeah, again, L-Town finally getting some weapons in his hands. That's what he needs to get his confidence going. We saw Naded with the railgun as well, picking up a couple of kills, and that's what these guys are going to need to do. Everyone on Allegiance, their pistols are so strong. We saw Contra, you know, take down the light rifle player immediately to no shields, and we saw Devin, what he can do with the sniper. So how do you counter that? You just start picking up the power weapons and trying to get that camo and railgun combo.
When that railgun was out of ammo, Shooter's going to go ahead and drop that. I'd like to have an assault rifle as a secondary weapon. He is pushing across to blue treehouse, but he knows his teammates are across the map. He's probably not going to have any help, and the enemy team is probably already in control of this area.
Yeah, nice little sneaky play coming out from Shooter, using the radar, also getting the melee onto L-Town before L-Town can take him to no shields, which is going to mean that he can lay down even more damage and eventually push in the flag, but he started to sprint before his shields recharged, which means that he's going to be dinked again. So a misplay coming out from Shooter means that he's not able to get into the flag area. Potentially could have won that 1v1 against L-Town and ran that one. However, everybody from the side of Luminosity now, because he didn't get that kill, spawning in and pushing out towards the elbow. Meanwhile, Shooter is getting taken down to no shields, throws a nice grenade to try to escape. His teammates are going to have to come to his rescue, though, as everyone's flooding Blue Treehouse for the side of Luminosity.
Shooter does go ahead and drop there as well. That's 2 members down for Allegiance. Top center control still in the hands of Luminosity. An awesome, perfect kill from Eco. Perfect kill and reversal, but pops out just a little bit too quickly as 2 players come off spawn on Silo.
Yeah, and meanwhile, L-Town got a big kill at the same time, and he took a little bit longer than he needed to run the flag. So even though these guys had some really nice shots, they left Naded in an awkward position because, yeah, he does have camo railgun, which is good for him, but it would be much better if they were running the flag and he had camo railgun. That way he'd be able to, you know, get a triple kill or an overkill, which would be really good for him. But the thing is that was just a small little mishap, but Naded doesn't care. He's pushing in there, and what I love about this is not only did he push in, but he's getting kills as he's pushing in, and gets the triple kill. So nice job for Naded.
I think that was an overkill because I'm pretty sure he killed his teammate right there too, and it just didn't register. But I saw some green hit markers pop up as well.
Well, we know Naded's not going to miss shots when he has camo railgun. It's one of the most powerful, if the most powerful combination in all of Halo 5. So, you know, if L-Town and whoever that else was slow played that just a little bit more and stayed alive top center, this would definitely be a 2-0, possibly 3-0 moving into game 5. So these guys need to pay attention to their shields, just like we saw Shooter sprinting around. It's definitely a very minor mistake that all it takes is that extra half second and it could be, you know, life or death.
But that was nonetheless a great railgun shot there by Naded, taking out 3 members of Allegiance here. So we'll see if he's going to be able to kind of keep up that domination and have any kind of repeat performances of that. But that was one of the better clips we've seen from Naded here so far.
A couple players falling for Allegiance. That should open the map up to grab the railgun for the side of Luminosity. We see the knock side getting the railgun, or getting the light rifle in a pretty powerful position. Railgun just now dropping. Nice shots onto Contra in the window, but Contra uses the thrust, and he's going to bring his teammates probably alive over in that area as well, which is good because the last thing you want to do is get trapped over in the silo because they're alive on that side of the map. That's going to allow the elbow spawns to pop up. Keep in mind, we do have that railgun on the map, and also camouflage coming up here pretty shortly as well. Naded has the railgun. He is bottom center, but Devin's able to get away with that camo.
And we'll stay on board here with camo for a moment as Naded is also trying to move around the map to get some better positioning for Devinator. I like what he's doing, controlling this top center location. He knows there's a player bottom center. He's not going to show up on radar, obviously, and picks up a quick beatdown.
Yeah, that was a nice back smack coming out from Devin. He also evaded Naded coming from the left-hand side with the railgun, even though he wasn't aware that player was coming from there. And he's also doing a pretty decent job over here of choking these engine spawns, but for some reason that player that's with him, Felcated, didn't end up running the flag. So let's see if they're able to pull this now after getting these 2 fresh slays, make that 3 fresh slays. It's going to be up to Naded and Denoxide to push over there towards the elbow area and try to get a touch. Naded does get 1 kill with the railgun, but it looks like everybody on the side of Allegiance is setting up for this one, and they're ready. The flag is being a little bit slow. Naded's going to get the return somehow and picks up a kill at the same time. So Naded really clutching it, ends up picking up a triple kill actually. So that's 2 triple kills coming out of Naded in a really clutch return as well. This could have been tied up 1-1, and with only 4 minutes left, that's a huge advantage for Luminosity.
Yeah, I don't know what Naded just did right there, but it was definitely the right play to make because in my eyes, there was no way they shouldn't have been securing that cap after putting all those members down fresh off spawn and having camo in your hands as well.
Yeah, that should never happen when you have the camouflage in your hand. You should never let your teammates die and let that free flag return come in. You have to prioritize your flag guy, make sure that you're watching it. It takes quite a while for Naded to return the flag as well, especially when he's doing it by himself. So that was really on Devin to make sure that he's going and getting that priority kills. But you just take a look at the kill feed and just all Luminosity. Naded getting another double kill as he's running the flag. This one's already going through the pit. He's half halfway. Does get taken down to no shields. Let's see if he's able to put this one in. Gets a nice little long toss. Doesn't even have to clamor as well. Just crouches, gets his feet over the wall. That's 2-0 now in favor of Luminosity. Yeah, they're down 2-1, but they're looking pressed for possibly a game 5.
And Naded just going a little bit too quickly, wasn't able to let his shields fully recharge. L-Town had the railgun. Does Predevinator know that he had it? Predevinator with the new camo, but jumps right over the railgun. Doesn't grab it quite yet, but good job by Contra following up on his play. We'll keep an eye to see if he ultimately ends up picking that up, but that's going to be 3 members down temporarily here for Luminosity.
Yeah, but the problem is Allegiance doesn't collapse and get the flag out in time, and they're not choking the engine spawns. And then when they did choke the engine spawns, they sent 2 guys towards the engine and didn't run the flag. Like, for example, right now, Contra should have pulled that flag maybe 3 seconds ago instead of looking for that guy. Yeah, I understand you want to help your teammate out, but now you're taken down to no shields. Just those extra seconds would have been pretty pivotal. Fortunately for him, they are getting the slays. Maybe you want to wait for your shields here, but there is only 3 minutes left, so he's going to get the communication from his team that it's okay to put that one in. Now it's 2-1 in the series for Allegiance, but they're down 2-1 in this Fathom CTF.
And right now, Contra doesn't see the player hiding behind him, so he's going to drop, just trying to play a little bit too quickly, maybe.
Oh, this is huge if Nada can get this kill. He doesn't, though. Shooter coming in with the help, so that would have been a pretty sick ground pound coming out from Nada. Really like how he's playing this game. Definitely the best game so far that we've seen coming out from Nada so far in the fall season. As you can see, 21 kills. Nada going into beast mode this game. Meanwhile, Denoxide over here playing a little bit of a support role. We saw him drop some pretty big stats so far, but only 10 kills in about 10 minutes at this point of the game. Railgun is on the map, and I believe L-Town also has the old one, so advantage going over to Luminosity. Let's see if they're able to push in towards that base. They have 2 players, Eco and L-Town over there working together. They take down Devin, and Naded getting another kill onto Felcated. Good splinter grenade, but that's not good enough. It's not on the flag. It looks like Eco is going to be able to pull this one. This could be potentially the last cap. We could see a game 5 here. Looks like he's taken down to no shields. Nice thruster on the corner. Does get the flag there as well. Only 1 player, Devin, to be able to stop this one. Why? Well, wait for your shields, dude. What are you doing? Come on. Oh, no. That's going to be a return coming out from Contra and Allegiance. And then, yeah, they're going to be able to pull this one. Possible counter cap. They also have the railgun on their side. And this is the flood. It's going to be up to the members of Luminosity to stop Devin. Devin getting a big kill onto Eco. Another kill going on to Naded from Shooter. That's 3 dead. Potentially 4 dead. No, Denoxide gets the kill, but the cap should be going over there once Kyle gets onto Contra. And there it is. There is the stealth capture. And a big misplay coming out from whoever was running that last flag, not waiting for your shields. That's kind of been plaguing all these guys so far in the Fathom CTF.
Yeah, and that's a scary moment for them as well, because Eco could have been in position to actually secure this victory for his team, and now they're in trouble of potentially losing the series.
That's a huge momentum boost, you know, or momentum boost for Allegiance, and that's a big deflator for Luminosity. Remember when we were talking about how yesterday in the Allegiance game, Contra, ooh, Denoxide getting some nice shots. That could be the kill that they need to possibly put this, get this return. A couple players getting the flag pulled out. That's going to be Eco running at Felcated trying to stop him. He gets taken out from Naded, so this could be it. This one's definitely going to overtime, but we're going to see either a flag standoff or a potential return coming out from Allegiance. It's really coming down to this last 20 seconds. There goes the melee onto this player. There's a possible return. Only 1 guy left to be able to stop this. No, it's not going to happen. Denoxide coming up clutch. Is the flag being pulled, though? It looks like Eco is going to be pulling this one. Denoxide taking another player down to no shields. Who is that going to be? That's going to be Shooter. Everyone flooding in from the red silo, going over to the blue treehouse from the pit area. Looks like they are going to be put this one in, and that's it. This is 2-2, all tied up, going to game number 5.
And I know Eco's got to be happy about that one after watching that flag cap slip by. And, you know, we talk about it before. Just think back to relegation when Optic, the team formerly known as Optic Gaming, actually defeated Denial in that 5-game game 1 series of Fathom CTF, just back and forth action. And we've talked about it time and time again, almost the series entirely determined based on that game, and Cloud was literally a hair away from actually securing that victory for his team initially, and you could tell how frustrated they were based off of his knee slap right after that as well.
Do you remember what game 5 was? Do you remember what game 5 was in this series? I can't remember what the Slayer game type was.
In this series right now?
Yeah.
It's going to be Slayer on the rig.
So Slayer on the rig. Ooh, I'm not sure who this one's going to have the advantage here, but the way that Naded was playing, if Naded continues to play that well on the rig, I know that the rig is one of his stronger maps, so I don't know. This one's been back and forth, as you can see. The scores have been really favorable for Allegiance when they've won, and again, the CTFs have only gone over to Luminosity, so based on that, you would have to give the edge over to Allegiance, but they did lose a Game 5 yesterday to Evil Geniuses.
That is a very good point as well, although the game yesterday was, what was that? That was a Slayer of the Rig as well, so it's another time where we're seeing Allegiance may fall short, but just think back what happened yesterday. We had that Falcade mishap where he betrayed Contra with the camo right when they were making their comeback, and even with that happening, they were still able to put up a good fight. So it's going to be really interesting to see if they're able to work out some of those kinks and come out and be strong and not have any kind of big, collapses as what we saw from them yesterday.
Did you move your chair up? You're taller than me. I'm getting back. All right, there we go. Let me just sit up there, guy. Let me just spike my hair.
It's your
up a little
posture,
bit
Tom.
longer.
You just gotta work on your posture.
I got that gaming slouch, where just like, oh man, I've been playing so much Halo, but yeah, I gotta maybe hit up the chiropractor and get it straightened out here. But anyway, we're going into Game 5, and I was expecting this to happen today. I knew that all of these games were going to be close. I wasn't expecting the first two series, to be that close. Game 5, we were talking about how match number 3 may be a little bit lopsided after that, but we're just seeing how competitive this season is. It's going to be such a battle. We're going to see, I know we're going to see towards the end, the very last week, the very last day, all of the matches are going to mean so much. It's going to be do or die every single day here.
I mean, we may only be looking at one team coming out, essentially undefeated in week 1, which is so crazy to think about. Some of the upsets that we kind of saw yesterday as opposed to what we were expecting. It's hard to call it an upset right now with every team changing, but then some of these teams we thought were going to be, ahead above everyone else, and, clearly those top teams. Perfect example is, Liquid yesterday versus Liquid today, and actually dropping that game. They're going to end the week 1 as a 1-1.
Yeah, it's crazy to think about where they go from potentially just making a really hot start, potentially being in that talk to be a top 2 team. Now in these power rankings, they're going to be dropping down a little bit. E6's stock is rising way up after today. And whoever's going to win this series, this would be absolutely huge for Luminosity. It would be a big heartbreaking loss for Allegiance to lose 2 Game 5s. They could potentially be 2-0, and we'd be hyping them up a ton. But if Luminosity walks away with this one, it could be a huge advantage for them. And keep in mind, when we're talking about how this is going to go down to the very end, when we're talking about 2 teams that were very equal in the standings last year, these are the games that you need to win. Who's going to step up big for their team?
And not only that, but there's a veto process involved here. So Allegiance has been involved in the map game type selection, and both times the Game 5s have come down to a Slayer on the rig. So something to think about, that they might have to start, working with their coach, studying other teams, and realizing that maybe this rig is not their best game type.
I wouldn't say that quite yet. Let's wait for this to be seen. But something to keep in mind is, again, Nated was playing so well last game. Falcade, though, escaping with that sniper rifle. If he can land this no-scope on a Nated, that'd be huge. It does so on the player Denoxide that was sitting on the overpass. Misses the guy bottom tower. That's Eco, but he backs him down with the nice shots, taking him out of scope while he was zoomed in there. So love the way that Falcade was able to get those picks. It could have been 5-1 there in the favor of Luminosity.
I mean, he could have had an overkill after that one if he jumped up and caught Nated trying to, squirm away over there by that snipe spawn and then hit that no-scope. I think I would have lost it.
Oh, 2 players over there on the overpass. Nated getting a double kill with the battle rifle. However, it looks like Denoxide missing a couple shots there with the plasma caster. Finally hits one onto Falcade. That's going to be enough damage to take him out. 9-5 now. Luminosity able to get control here. Nated with the most powerful, combo that you could potentially have in the most powerful position that you could potentially be in as well. You may want to, rotate over here towards the top tower. This is another very good spot. Nated hitting the headshot while he's hovering over there, using the auto-stabilize onto Falcade. 10-5 now. And again, this is a really good spot because you can pick off players like that and then back off towards the tower if you need to and use that shotgun. You need to get out of there, though, because you still have a couple shots left in your guns and could get some kills with these. Also, you don't want to die as the camos coming up, especially when you have the bunker area.
I'd really like to see him reload here, but not going to do quite yet. Still got one shot, finally going to do that. At this point, Tom, with the shotgun sniper, I'd almost like to see him just try to waste his shot and grab that battle rifle, as if he misses this, he could completely be taken out of the next fight.
Yeah, this isn't a bad play either, though. Doing exactly what he did, crouching bottom tower and then getting that shotgun kill, now rotating over here to try to get the pick on the plasma caster players. Does hit the body shot, but now it's time to rotate and get a different gun. Ends up using using the Spartan charge, needs to hover with the auto-stabilize as well. Does so instead by doing the ground pound animation. So let's see if he's able to get back towards top tower, because this is such a powerful position to be in. Also gets the DMR, which is fortunate from him that the player that he killed had the DMR. So now he can lay down some long-range shots across the map as they're spawning over there in the bunker area and going for the plasma caster. He's definitely aware. Now he sees that nade. He has to know that Contra's over there.
Luminosity sitting at a comfortable 5-kill lead here now in this game, and I like what Naded's doing. Just locking down, anchoring this top rail position here, and essentially just waiting for this new sniper rifle to come up. Now, it looks like he is spotted out, but his teammates do control this side of the map. He does want this new weapon, and he is setting up with the shotgun to try to make sure they can secure it.
6-0 for Naded so far. It's also a 4-kill lead. Now moving over to 7-0. Sees another player. That Shooter could potentially be going on a killing frenzy to start this game. So impressive performance coming out from Naded. Only 2 more away from a frenzy. That that plasma caster blows the sniper away. He's looking for it, and he dies because of it.
Now plasma caster in the hands of Eco. Lots of nades coming in here to the SMG area. There's a player finally shows up on radar, but Contra's going to take out Eco there, and then he's going to be able to grab that plasma caster. Now it doesn't look like anyone has been able to find that sniper rifle. Tom, if you go through and see, maybe that actually went off the map as well.
Falcated actually has it, and he's making his way over towards the back bunker area. So let's see if they're able to build or be able to cut into this lead here for Luminosity. It starts with Falcated, who had those fantastic no-scopes, misses a guy on the top tower area, and that's going to be advantage going over to Luminosity again as they continue to collapse. Looks like Shooter's just trying to play a little bit sneaky here. He's going to go for that. Oh, possible ninja coming out. Looks like he missed the Spartan charge. That player did thrust behind him, so heads up play by whoever ends up killing him. Eco with a fantastic play. That would have been a huge momentum boost for Shooter. Could have backsmacked that guy with the Spartan charge and potentially been full shield, so fight someone 1 versus 1.
And not only that, but being down 9 kills, that's what you need to get back into this game. Is something like that working out in your favor.
Yeah, especially with the camouflage coming up too. So let's find out what's going to happen with the camo. It went over to L-Town, so advantage again over to Luminosity because they have the weapons and the power-ups. No one is spawning over there, but he is going to chuck a nade just in case. Probably should maybe rotate back to bunker if he's so worried about that, or just charge over with his teammates. Again, if his teammates are getting kills, they are going to potentially spawn over there, so he needs to be aware of that. Maybe look over to his left because there's definitely going to be someone over there. Here comes a charge coming in from Shooter. The spawns weren't over there. Instead, they were in the open field area, so everyone's stuck in the plasma caster and engine area for the side of Allegiance. Eco has some pretty nice positioning. He could fall back here, set up in that carbine area where the battle rifle now spawns, and just set up just like it was a Strongholds rig game, in that he had the nest and basement set up, and now he just needs a player to rotate over towards the barrels.
Right, and the last game for these two teams here before the weekend at the end of week 1, neither team wants to go home with a loss, and if Allegiance falls this game, like we said, they are 0-2 to start week 1.
Yeah, it would just be heartbreaking for these guys because they've played so well, and to not walk away with a win would just be devastating. But we did see some fantastic comebacks in Slayer before. This one isn't over yet. These guys are going to have to take out Eco, but Eco dips out. Nice job rotating over there towards top engine. Gets taken to no shields. Contra following up with that kill. So heads up play by Contra, also taking another player down to no shields. This is the opportunity here for Allegiance as they get 3 down. So it could have been potentially been a double-digit lead. Now only 7 kills here for Luminosity. And they also have the positional advantage on the side of Allegiance with the weapons coming up here and the camouflage. So let's see if they're able to do some work here.
And you see in the player outlines there, you do have Sal or L-Town moving over to try to get control of that plasma caster. Shooter with an old sniper rifle, protecting the new sniper rifle that came off spawn. Good melee, but not able to take that player out. Naded will go ahead and clean up that kill. The sniper rifle is still down. We want to see Allegiance push over to make sure they can actually secure this weapon
So
as they need to close this lead.
Shooter has it, and the camouflage is coming up here really soon. So this is pretty much it. This is the biggest time in this game. This is the swing. Whoever is able to turn this around should be able to win this one. That's L-Town dying with the camo. So it looks like they sacrificed 2 deaths on the side of Luminosity to make sure that nobody on the side of Allegiance got that camouflage. I'm not sure what happened with this shotgun, if anyone from the side of Luminosity has it, but that's really their only opportunity to get back into the game. Sniper's in Shooter's hands, and shotgun is in Naded's hands. So it's really up to Naded here with that fantastic game. And something to keep in mind, Kyle, is only 5 minutes left. You definitely don't have to push here. If you're Luminosity, just wait for the next camo. There's no reason to give up any dumb deaths. You can just really slow this one down, go grab a snack out of the fridge, come back, and then you should be good to go. Camo's coming up in about a minute, and Devin hit someone with a nade, so they did put the hands into the best sniper on their squad, and let's see if he's able to bring them back into the game.
When he does see that there's players hiding over here by Carbine, Allegiance grabbing another kill, down to a 4-point game. You know, maybe Luminosity's getting a little bit worried at this point. They had a big lead, and they could have played it a little bit differently, but ended up giving up way too many free deaths.
Yeah, and again, you know, they don't have to do anything. They didn't have to give up that death. That's a big death to give up because that's 5 kills compared to 4, right? That means that if they were to slow this down to a complete standstill and nobody from Allegiance was charging, if you die all 4 dead, then you still do have a 1-kill lead and you can just continue to try to trade kills there. But they realize that they don't need to challenge here and they are going to slow it down. No more dumb deaths. Just wait for the camo. What they need to do is they need to probably push up barrel side and then send another guy basement window and then send probably 2 guys coming up. Looks like they're going to try to blow that plasma caster back over there towards the Carbine area. So I do like that play. They need to send 2 people up there in that area though, and then send 1 guy barrels and another guy basement window.
Denoxide able to dodge that shot. He's going to get some call-outs here to his teammates to let everyone know where this Predevinator is with the sniper rifle. You can see players starting to move away from that location to try to prevent that angle from happening. Now he does hit a body shot. Nuke camo is in fact up as well, but great splinter nade. However, it's not going to be enough, but yet it is as Denoxide with the plasma caster takes out camo sniper.
So that's Denoxide that blew the plasma caster back with the nade, ends up pretty much almost winning the game for these guys. It's not over yet. It's 7 kills, but giving camo sniper over to Devin, the best sniper on the Allegiance squad, would just be, you know, way too devastating to come back from. And yeah, I mean, that small little play, that small grenade to blow the plasma caster back for Denoxide and the Luminosity squad could potentially make them 2-0 to start the fall season.
Back up to an 8-kill lead here. Allegiance can't give up many more free deaths, only 11 kills away from closing out this series.
And Naded does have the sniper rifle in his hand and had a fantastic Fathom CTF game, putting together a pretty strong rig performance as well. Let's see what he's able to do. And if he can secure just a couple more kills, there's not much time left, and he does. Shooter getting his face taken off. That's a 9-kill lead now, 2.5 minutes left. If you're Allegiance, you can't afford to wait anymore. You have to charge out. I know it's not ideal. I know that Naded has the weapons. You're pretty much charging right into death, but you have to just try to get lucky here because mathematically, Luminosity could just camp this one out if they feel uncomfortable.
Right, only, you know, a little over 2 minutes left, and of course they'd have to tie the game to send any chance of sending it actually into overtime. And Naded, being such a sneaky player, if his teammates start dying, he is going to rotate with this weapon. He's got sniper shotgun actually.
Yeah, again, shotgun for Naded. It's just a deadly combo. This is the most deadly combo on this map. Not really a big fan of that position. Could have probably slow played it a little bit more. This is the opportunity for Allegiance here. They could potentially collapse if Naded's not able to capitalize on these shots. But Eco getting a big kill. You can't afford to trade kills here if you're Allegiance. Nice job getting Naded down to at least no shields here, but they're not able to find the kill. Naded escapes. Does the teammate distract him? But Shooter getting a nice battle rifle kill. This one's not over yet. Only 6 kills, 1 minute and 30 left.
Oh, and if Shooter dies here, pops out a little bit too early, Eco's able to finish off that kill. 1.5 minutes left. Like, you have to make sure you don't die just so that the score is enough to where you can actually even bring it back or tie it in the time remaining.
Not mathematically over yet. I would say once it starts hitting around that 40-second, 35-second mark, that's when it's going to be really hard for these guys on Allegiance. But they get 1 kill, so that's 6 now. They need to probably pick up a couple more. It's starting to happen. Looks like Eco's getting a little bit nervous. He's going to hide over here. This is a really fantastic play. I would have waited for those guys just to run by you, really, but looks like he's going to take Falcated down the no shields. Falcated's going to die. That's a big job of trading kills there. It's a 5-kill game. Let's see if Luminosity is able to secure this win here. Possible comeback here if anyone from Allegiance is able to spot Eco crouching around the corner. They're not in a good position.
Eco trying to play ring around the rosy here, and I like what he did. Got a kill, escaped, and that's still a 5-kill lead. Like you said, Tom, 40 seconds left, and good positioning from Shooter. Picks up that kill, but L-Town answers back and does take him out as well. Still a 5-kill lead.
Ooh, Falcated, you know, doesn't end up with... That was a big big fight for L-Town to lose. Now, Denoxide's in a pretty good position. He doesn't even have to charge out here. It looks like he's going to respond to a call of a one-shot guy. But remember when I was talking about Allegiance needing to charge out a little bit earlier? Now they're in scramble mode. They're literally going to have to find every single player on the side of Luminosity and kill them at the same time. It looks like they are going to be able to. 55 or 44 to 45. Where's the last player? Is he going to be able to find him? That's going to be it. And yes, Naded 16 and 8. Luminosity going up 2-0 in the series. Kyle, remember when I was talking about these guys need to push? It's going to get too late. It was just a second too late.
That was a little bit ridiculous. I did not think it was going to come down to the absolute wire like that, and that's exactly why you need to kind of coordinate a little bit better, with your team. You brought up a lot of good points. We've seen it time and time again, and I'm pretty sure we saw it on Eden a couple times during the summer season, where a team was able to just jump around and hippity-hoppity around, staying alive at the very last second before time expires. So just like that, we've got Allegiance going 0-2, losing 2 Game 5s in Week 1.
That's heartbreaking for them. They could potentially be 2-0, just very, very small, minor mistakes. You can't really go back and look at one single play that was a big turning point at all. I mean, Allegiance did a really nice job coming back, and both teams played that fairly well. Maybe when Eco was hiding over there and got that trade on Felcated as 2 players ran by him, that was a nice little sneaky play, but so many heads-up plays from all these guys, and we can just see how evenly these teams are matched.
And that was an awesome one to watch, especially, Luminosity had that monstrous lead and weren't able to hold on to it, but able to just keep it far enough and having that time expire. And keep in mind, if they got that extra kill, that would have tied it and put another 3 minutes on the clock. So that would have been really interesting to see what happens after that.
You don't even need the full 3 minutes, but either way, that was an absolutely insane game. That's something to definitely take away, though, if you're watching from home or if you're another pro team. You got to be careful about the time. You have to leave enough time on the clock. That's the worst feeling in the world, where you're pretty much going to win the game, but the time limit runs out, because they had that one in the bag. Once they got those kills, they were going to send everybody on spawn for Luminosity. They would have had the weapons. They would have collapsed. So if they would have just charged out maybe 10 seconds, 5 seconds earlier, they could have won that and been 1-1.
You're exactly correct. That was definitely a heartbreaking loss, and considering both of those Game 5s were on Slayer of the Rig, both of them could have gone to Allegiance. These guys have a lot to take away from Week 1 as they get ready to prepare for Week number 2.
Yeah, like you said, maybe we just want to ban the rig.
All right, now we do have our winner view available here. That is going to be with Luminosity. Hello, sir. Can you hear me?
Okay, my name's Naded, but not Luminosity. But how you guys doing? Thanks for having me on the show.
How are you talking? Your lips aren't moving. Are you ventriloquist?
Yeah, I actually been working on that in my spare time.
Is that what you've been doing the last month?
Yeah, I took that time off, did I was a magician in my spare time, a little ventriloquist as well.
Yeah, we've talked about it time and time again. How is Naded going to impact the Pro League as he comes back and makes his return? And sure enough, you led the team yesterday, and you come out and with an epic Game 5. I think you were +8 in that game. What was it like, with this new squad and, teaming back up here with L-Town and then finding all this success?
Yeah, we've been definitely playing really well, since we formed. We still have a lot of work to do, we know that, and, we're just trying to come out and, just give it our all every night or every time we got a match, and, that was probably one of the sweatiest series I've ever played, so that was, 1 kill camping in corners, so, but got the W, and I guess we're just gonna take this next week or so to work on the things we need to work on for the next matches.
Speaking about what you guys need to work on, what happened in the Plaza Strongholds game? It was such a fast game. They just had control the entire time and had a 3-cap on you guys. And you went in there to push on the yard, and you got Shooter over there camping in the Rammy spot with the shotgun. Just nothing was going your guys' way. Is that one of your guys' weaker game types, or is just Allegiance really good in that? Because we saw them beat EG yesterday twice.
Yeah, you definitely got to give us some credit for sure. But we started off that game. We had control. We had bottom mid, we had nest, and then we just started dying, one by one. And then we actually let them get that bottom mid hill pretty much for free. We didn't even contest it really. We were kind of out of position, and then we all started spawning cafe with a trip cap, which is basically the worst scenario. You want for the other team. So, we're all spawning cafe. Now we can't get a hill. Now we're all spawning bottom snipe lift. We still can't get a hill, and meanwhile, they're already up to 50 points. So, it was just bad misplays on our part, early on in that game. But they definitely played that well for sure.
Now, we talk a little bit more. I know you've addressed it a couple times here, but taking that break, what was that like for you as a competitor, for over a decade now at this point? I know we both got our starts, relatively around the same time. What's it like being able to sit back and watch the Pro League develop and make your decision to actually return and compete once more?
Yeah, it definitely was some much needed time off. I was definitely, kind of stressed out at the time, of that whole decision to step down. But I took the time off. I was still playing a lot, still keeping my skills up, and when I came back, it kind of took me a little bit to get back in the swing of things. But I just kept grinding. Especially with my teammate Dan. I mean, we're always playing. It's just so awesome to have a teammate, that's always on and gaming with you. So it was really easy to get, kind of get back into things.
Yeah, and still obviously a lot of work to be done in this season, but what can you say about this season compared to last season and the amount of how close the teams are? The amount of team shuffling that happened, I think that all of these teams are just really, really good. You guys got to be feeling 2-0, but can you feel that the level of competition has stepped up from the previous season?
Yeah, definitely stepped up. I mean, the new game types, their new, map layouts definitely, kind of even the playing field maybe a little bit more. But you definitely are seeing a lot more, teams picking up, players that are really highly skilled individually and stuff like that, and forming these better teams. So it's definitely going to be an exciting season for sure.
All right. And then, you said your teammate Denoxide. When did you guys first, form that team since he was on Liquid during last season? How did that combination come about?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was running games with EG, with Ninja and Royan Lunchbox, and things were going well there. And then I believe like one day I think they said they weren't going to get on to play, or Taui was letting me know that we weren't going to scrim. So I was like, all right, I guess I'll scrim with somebody else. And so I let the Liquid guys know, and I was talking to L Town too at the time. I was like, hey, let's just try this team out, see how it is. And we played, and we got the chemistry was really good, and we just all got along really well, and it just felt really comfortable, for me, and so that's how it all went about.
Do you think that Evil Geniuses, obviously they're looking pretty good as well. How do you feel like we've been asking a lot of people, how do you think that this top 4 is going to shape up? What are your predictions for the teams that are going to make it into the finals? Because you know best. You've been scrimming against all these teams.
Yeah, I mean, it's tough it's honestly tough to say. I mean, obviously you're going to have Optic, and maybe, I mean, I would say Envy, but, they did lose their first match, so you never really know, I mean, at this point. But I mean, I would say the only person or only team for sure is Optic. I mean, can't really say, because a lot of the other teams, like you said, are getting better, and it's, close competition now.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of good points there. The middle of the pack has really changed up a lot with all of these team changes and a lot of these teams coming back together. But Nate, wanted to congratulate you one more time on a fantastic week 1 to get this started. You're obviously back in prime form, and you had an awesome Game 5 showing. So once again, congratulations.
Cool. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Thank you. Well, you heard it there. Nate coming back strong, and he's a guy that has really had a lot of success in taking risks on some of these lower players, and it really paying off for him. And it started off with that Halo World Championship Team Allegiance squad, L-Town Suspector kind of coming out of nowhere, essentially, and then just having this team that has been able to compete with the best. And then, of course, even, Denoxide looked a lot weaker on Liquid last season, but taking him and, maybe he's been molding him as a player to really come out and be strong here for fall.
Nate was even saying that he has Denoxide to get on and play with all the time, because Denoxide, he probably gets out of school at like 3 o'clock or something like that, which is like noon West Coast time for Brett. So Brett just wakes up and gets a chance to play, for 9 or 10 hours. And that's when, he's at his best, when you have someone to sit there and grind with. I know me and him have put countless hours in, and he's someone that's always willing to talk about strategies, someone that's willing to go over film, willing to get better. So like you said, they're probably working together on getting better, and it's really paying off. And something that was interesting to me was when he said EG took a day off to not practice. That's when when he ended up going out for these other opportunities. So it's just crazy to see just how the butterfly effect comes into play here when, just small decisions that get made about not practicing one day could turn into forming a completely different lineup of teams here in the fall season.
All right, now that's going to wrap up match series number 2. We have Luminosity defeating Allegiance in a Game 5. Now, if you like what you saw and you're interested in taking a look at the action or watching that Game 5 unfold one more time, make sure you head over to youtube.com/ESL Halo to recap all of the action there. We have more exciting matches coming up just after this short break, so don't go anywhere.